Alrighty, and away we go. Today is Monday, March 11th, 2019. Thanks everybody for jumping on. And for those of you watching the replay, I'm Mark Harris. This is my lovely wife, Krista, the brains and the beauty of the operation. We do this team call every week on this platform. So if you're brand new, we want to welcome you to the best doggone thing since sliced bread. Maybe even better. Sliced bread never changed anybody's life for the better that I know of. So we're privileged tonight to have a guest speaker. We met Rita Goad, Elite Pro 7 down in Oklahoma City when we were privileged to speak down at the last LifeVantage Academy. And she and her daughter, Kelsey, I think I got that right, have been building this business together. And we actually, Julie reached out to Rita and asked if she would spend some time with us tonight, which she's been very gracious in agreeing to do. So Rita, I won't belabor your time. Please, if you will, just tell us a little bit of your story and anything that's on your heart tonight. We would love to learn from you. So, Rita Goad, time is yours.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Can you hear me fine? Now that you can see me fine, right?
You're great. You're great.
I really like the ambiance thing. So now I'm going to have to rethink that. Oh, yeah. I appreciate the opportunity to share. Because, you know, it's just always fun to see other faces and to get to know Team LifeVantage. And so I appreciated the invitation and had so much fun meeting the Harrises while they were here. That's one really neat thing about all of our different events that we have is meeting everybody. But I'll just tell you real quick a little bit about my story and then what everybody always wants to know. But I have my PhD in family health and science, and I have been on this naturally healthy journey for, I don't know, decades. And I have actually been in and out of network marketing for about 23 years and have had some success and have had a lot of not so successful time. But I was not looking for a business at all when LifeVantage found me. And a friend that I was in another business with shared LifeVantage with me. And she did it primarily because she knew I did my research. And so she wanted me to check it out. So she sent me the ABC video. And I will just tell you, when I first saw that ABC video, I laughed. I thought, this is so fake. It is so cotton picking fake. Because you know, from my research for years, I knew there was no way you're going to have a natural supplement that was patented or that could reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. I just knew both of those things were not possible. And so, I mean, I literally laughed. But I love my friend so much, I wanted to save her, you know. And so what I did was I did my research. And then I wasn't laughing anymore. I was saying, oh my. I was saying bummer because I didn't want a business. But all of a sudden, God had put in my lap LifeVantage. And I mean, when I saw the studies on PubMed, and at that time there were 16 studies. And when I saw what this one product did, I knew I couldn't say no. And so I jumped in with a platinum pack, having never tried the product, just because I know that's what you do if you want to build a smart business and if you really want to build strong. And at that point, I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do because I didn't know the corporate team. I hadn't done a lot of study of the company yet, but I just knew that if I decided to build, I wanted to have in my story that I started with the Platinum Pack. And so I zipped to Pro 3 the first month, and then I sat on it for about 1.5 years because I have been there and done that with the in-home meeting thing. And if you guys like in-home meetings, that's fabulous. They work for people who like them. But I have been there and done that and didn't want to do it again. And I knew I didn't have the time to do that. And I knew that the people I know wouldn't want to do that. And so I kind of sat back and just watched because I saw people saying that you could build this on Facebook. And I had no idea how to build it on Facebook, but I knew I wanted to learn if I was going to build it. So in the meantime, I did a lot of checking out the corporate team and just continuing my own research and just kind of sitting mostly and enjoying. I shared with a few people. I maintained my Pro 3. But what really got me started was in February of 2017, my daughter Kelsey suddenly had to quit her job because of a shoulder injury. She is a horse trainer, and she had a really severe shoulder injury, and the doctor said, you have to stop your job as a vet tech today. And so with 7 horses and 2 dogs and 3 cats, she had no income. And so this mama got motivated. And so she said, do you think we can do this? And I said, I'm sure we can. I don't know how, but I'm sure we can. And so she launched her business with a few Zoom overviews that I did not do. I didn't want that pressure as her mom. I couldn't handle that pressure. So somebody in my upline handled that. But then late in the month of March, I heard a gal talk about how she was building on Facebook. And I thought, okay, we don't know what we're doing, but we're just going to jump in and do it. And so that's what we did. And so we really launched our business the last week of March 2017. And my business doubled that week. I went from Pro 3 to Pro 4 in 1 week. And it was all on Facebook. It was literally, we were immediately into momentum. And so it was crazy. That doesn't normally happen. I don't know why it happened other than just prayer and need. And, God was taking care of the situation. And really, maybe the faith that we were showing, because like I said, we didn't have any clue what we were doing, but we just said, let's do it anyway. And so we did. And Kelsey, my daughter, she rank advanced to Pro 3 that month, I believe, and Pro 4 in April, and then Pro 5 in May, and maintained in June. And then we went together to the Pro 5 Summit that August, which was just so fabulous. And then I went ahead and rank advanced to Pro 6 in November, and then Pro 7 in May. And my team continues to be in great momentum, which is really, really fun. But, it always comes back to the question of, how do you guys do it? What are you doing? Because my PV continues to be really high, and a lot of people notice that, and they want to know, how do you do that? How's your team continuing in momentum? And I would love to tell you I have some kind of secret sauce that I could tell you about. And I guess I kind of do, actually, because what I learned is, it doesn't matter how you're building, you build it the same way. And that is, you create curiosity to get into conversation, because conversation always precedes commission. And so really, even though we're doing it on Facebook, we are doing it just like we would do if we were having coffee meetings or we were doing in-home meetings. When we do post on our profiles, and you're welcome to search for me. I'm Rita Goad, Rita L. Goad, I believe. Rita E. Goad. I don't remember which I am on Facebook. But you'll recognize my face. But rather than sending me a friend request, just follow. And you can always do that with your leaders. Just follow them, because you want to leave the friend spaces open. But anyway, I will post every now and then. I post mostly value and good things to bless the people that I'm connected with on Facebook. But then, a few times a week, I'll throw out a curiosity post. And usually when I throw out a curiosity post, usually at least 1 or 2 people will then reach out to me from that post. And as soon as they do, I don't answer questions if they ask on that post, but I get into conversation. in private messaging. And in private messaging, I'm just, like the real person that I am, and I just get into conversation with them, and I try to focus on them. I want to know what it is that caught their attention. Maybe they are having a pain of some sort in their life, maybe a physical pain, maybe a financial pain, maybe a relationship pain. Maybe they just are wanting a tribe to connect with, and they see me post something about the team. But whatever it is, I want to know what it is that caught their attention. And then once I learn what caught their attention, then I can talk with them about what I might have that might be an answer. It may or may not be a fit. I use that a lot. It may or may not be a fit for you, because I want to always take it away so that it doesn't feel like pressure at all. But just be in real life conversation, just as if you're over coffee or in a home meeting, and just talk to the real people on the other side of the computer, just like you would talk to the real people on the other side of the table. And so, tell them a little bit about your story and ask them more about their story, because the more that you ask questions, the more that you're going to know their pain points and to know what actually they might be looking for. And I actually have in my notes section on my phone, I have my own personal copy and paste conversation, which I always personalize, because I don't want it to look like a copy and paste. I want it to look like the conversation that it is. And so that's why I say it's my personal conversation, because it uses words that I would use. And I just noticed that when I answered people, I was saying a lot of the same things again and again. And so to make it easy for myself, I made shortcuts on my phone. And so when somebody comments on something on my profile, or a lot of times people will just see things on my profile as I post time after time again, and then contact me when it feels like it's out of the blue, but they've been watching me for a long time. And so I just get into that same conversation with them, but I see what their need is, and then I go to my copy and paste and see, I have the different categories for what might fulfill their needs, and I use that copy and paste, always making it personalized for them and their needs and their questions. And I spend a whole lot of time also just in personal development and in learning mode, because Facebook is constantly changing. Research is constantly changing on our own products. But I would encourage every one of you, if you are interested at all in building on Facebook or using Facebook as a tool, as a resource, then connect with some of the coaches. Like Fraser Brooks is my favorite coach at this point in time. The Ninja Networker is his kind of code name, and you can look for him. You can find him on Facebook and follow him, and he has a free Facebook group to be in, and you will learn a lot from him. He shares a lot of value. Rob Sperry is another really great coach to learn from. And there are others as well. Make sure that the coaches that you learn from are people who have actually built network marketing businesses and who are no longer building network marketing businesses. And that will help it to be generic. And also, people who've built network marketing businesses actually know what they're talking about. It makes a big difference. But I am continually learning, and I really don't have any secret sauce. I have people contact me all the time to ask, and I say, man, if I did, I would use it myself. I would sell it to my team, and I would sell it to everybody else. But it really is just being a good human, and it's just a matter of where you do it. You just create curiosity to get into conversation, and then always use the tools. Remember that you aren't the tool. You're just You're just the one who delivers the tool. And so I use the tools a lot. I use the tools exclusively, as a matter of fact. Here's a little crazy thing for you. I've never done an overview. And that's worked out really well for me. So, but you know, a lot of really strong speakers have. And so I just share their overviews. And I share the videos from the company. And my number one tool is the ABC video. That's what I always start with. So I'm open to anybody's questions. If you want to take any questions, or Mark, do you have any questions?
Yeah, well, I just, I'm so appreciative, Rita, for you taking the time. Now, for those of you that don't know, Rita's not in our upline or in our team, but she exemplifies the spirit and the culture of LifeVantage that we've fallen in love with. We help one another. And I'm so appreciative tonight. And I realize you could give a 7 or 8 hour course and we still wouldn't have scratched the surface on your practical tips. So with that being said, I know we're going to talk to people on all different parts of the spectrum, from brand newbies to people who have been in for 4 or 5 years and are frustrated and plateaued, stuck. Just some mindset stuff real quick. How, it doesn't sound like you've, plateaued for a long period anytime that you've been in, but how do you deal with discouragement, and how do you avoid becoming emotionally attached to some of those connections that don't go the way you would like for them to go?
Well, that's a good question, and it's a tough thing. And I mean, the reality is we all get disappointed. We all have to work on our mindset on a regular basis. Me included, and every elite I have ever talked to has said the same thing. And it's a tough thing because you want to help people. So whether it is product or whether it's business, when you see people hurting, you want to help people. And so I really think that if there is a key, that almost is the key, that it does have to be more about them than about you. So you have to be in enough activity yourself so that you don't get concerned about just one no or just 2 or 3 no's, and that you want to bless people, but just like anything else, they have to want it. There's nothing that you can do other than just present the tools and pray. And if the time is right, then it will be evident. The only other thing that I know to do is just to consistently work on your own personal development. And that is true at any stage. It is true from day one, and it is true once you're Pro 7, and when you're Pro 10, it's still going to be true. I hear Carrie Dickey talking about this all the time, and she is, about to be Pro 12. She's getting so close. And so it's not something that ever stops. And it's something that we are always continually growing in life. And man, if you are not, then you're going to have a mindset issue. It's going to happen.
Hey, Rita, I just have a question. I know you used the 2 people that you mentioned just now. Did you use Eric Worre some as well for your social networking? Because
yes.
Jerry Whistler just texted out that there was Eric Worre is starting a social networking boot camp tomorrow, which I'm sure is on his website. But I couldn't remember if it was you that had used so much of Eric Worre's stuff as well to learn some of this.
Yeah, I really started with Eric Worre because I started with his network marketing, the GoPro book, which is really great. And I mean, I used I just did a lot of personal training with Eric Worre. And then he did the social media summit, which was last year in May, I believe, May or June. And that was when I first heard of Fraser Brooks. I had never heard of him before. And I was so impressed. Of course, the whole summit was great. I would encourage all of you to get that, invest in that, because it has a lot of variety in it. And so, find the coach that appeals to you. Find the coach that makes sense to you. And one thing I will say is, as you listen to coaches, like for instance, Fraser Brooks. Fraser is from the UK. He's from a different culture, and you will hear that as he speaks. And whether you're from the United States or the UK or wherever, you might be from a little different culture than the coaches that you hear. And I just, sometimes you have to decide that you're willing to hear some things that are kind of hard to hear, whether it be coaching that's just kind of tough on you, or whether it's language that you don't appreciate. Just realize that people come from different backgrounds and that it's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I personally kind of had to become okay with. And so whenever I post any of those things for my team, I say, no, you guys, I don't talk like this, but he's a great guy. So just, we all deal with it in real life. We can deal with it in business too.
That's right. We call it.
Yeah, Eric Worre is great. And I think that summit is with Fraser Brooks that's starting tomorrow. So
awesome. Yeah, we call it chewing the meat and spitting out the bones. So,
there you go.
Right.
Got to do it.
I see you've got a particular question about chiropractors and health clubs. So that's the question, Rita. Recommendation for chiropractors and health clubs. Is there anything different that you would do, Rita?
Chiropractors and health clubs. I tell you, chiropractors specifically, just any medical professional, if they are your personal chiropractor or your personal medical professional, then you may have an in with them. And if they're not, then probably just give it up. And here's a couple of things. Is a medical professional doesn't have anything over you and me as far as what the potential is.
Right.
And you are more likely to get a business builder if they're not a medical professional. So there's that. But if you are going to go to a medical professional of any kind, then PubMed.gov, take the Washington study, take PubMed.gov. And I would take a print out of some of the studies, and the Washington study is the one that I believe it's Dr. Mark Gordon, and doctors. Two of the doctors, I don't remember which the other one was, but they said it was the Washington study that you can just print off of PubMed.gov that really got their attention.
Yeah, I think it was. You got me now. I had it and I lost it.
Sorry.
I'll repeat something that Dr. Norman Marvin said when he was still actively working Life Advantage. He said, "I'd rather have one committed hairdresser than 10 medical doctors, because the hairdresser's got a captive audience all day long and they're free to ask those questions all day long, where a medical doctor has to wait till the practice hours are done before they can really do that." There's a specific question: how do I join the Facebook training tomorrow? Guys, Eric Worre's website is Network Marketing Pro. Is that right? NetworkMarketingPro.com. He also has 3 Facebook groups, one of which is,
Y'all can find them.
Yeah. You'll just have to.
And if you just look for Eric Worre, he has been advertising it on his page. So just search for Eric Worre on Facebook.
All right.
There's 2 questions that I think are really pertinent to what you were talking about. One was, what are maybe some of your curiosity posts consist of? Maybe just 1 or 2 that would give some of these guys ideas.
It can be anything. So that's a really hard one. I would just say, search for me on Facebook and look. Sometimes it might be a story. It might be a, stories do sell. And so it might be a story, a testimony, but when you post anything, you guys, please make it compliant. Do not even use the word disease. Do not use any name of a disease. Do not act like it does anything for a disease. I mean, it's really, we have a challenge with our stories, but stories do catch attention. But sometimes it's just something like, somebody I recently posted that they saw so much on their Facebook on their newsfeed about people not getting enough sleep. And I know I see that a lot on my newsfeed. And so they said, I'm so glad that I finally found a natural way to get more rest, to get sleep, and for it to be more restful.
Good one, yeah.
And, just that. And then people say, well, what are you doing?
Yeah. So how many follow-ups do you usually do with a person that takes some kind of interest?
70 times 7.
Okay.
Amen.
However many it takes.
Okay.
Amen.
All right. Good one.
And I'll throw this in as well. We've encountered some people just recently that they said no before they had even seen anything, just because they thought they knew what we were talking about. And with those people, friends, I just want to encourage you just to love them back and go, listen, I based on what you told me, which is predicated upon a question that you have asked to find people's pain. You say, listen, I thought this would be really interesting to you. If you have an objection, you hate MLM or whatever. I totally feel the same way. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. But here's what I found. I found something that really transformed my life in exactly the same way you're talking about. So, Rita, thank you so much. Do you have a favorite overview video? There's the last question we'll keep.
Well, it just, it depends on the person.
Right.
I do have Seth Campbell did a 17-minute overview, and I use that one a lot because it's quick.
And that's on our website, everybody. TeamLifeTree.com on our website.
What is it?
That overview is accessible to our team. Very accessible, yeah.
Fabulous. Well, that's probably the one I use the most. But then I also like to use the Nettles whenever a husband and wife might be looking at it together. The Nettles is a really good one. And of course, they do one now every Tuesday evening. And Sean Poe. Sean Poe is doing a lot these days, and he did one with, or he's done a couple actually with Dr. Brett Brimhall, and you can find that on YouTube on the Poe's channel. So those are really great. So it depends on who you're sharing it with. This is why you want to ask questions, why you want to get to know your people.
Yep. Right.
Awesome wisdom. Fantastic, Rita.
Thank you, sister.
Grateful.
You're so welcome.
Give our love to Kelsey and the whole OKC crew down there.
That's
and
right.
We're so appreciative of your time. And guys, if you want to hug Rita's neck, you got to come to Kansas City, because that's where she's going to be next in July. On that point, if you have not yet registered for LVA or virtual LVA, if that is something that you find benefit from, and I strongly recommend it, mostly because I'm part of it. And we have the privilege of speaking here at home in Kansas City this coming Saturday, and I can't wait. It's been so long since we've done any training here in Kansas City. So make sure you go to lifevantageacademy.com. That's $25 pre-registration through Thursday. If you show up at the door, it's going to cost you $10 extra.
So go to your local one.
So don't do that. And pre-registration for Kansas City is live and on fire. Don't forget March Madness, $25 for every gold pack distributor, twice that, $50 for every platinum pack distributor. That's 2 points. That runs till the end of March, and some pretty cool cash prizes. We don't have time to go through that tonight. We'll talk next week to our Pro 5 attendees, Stuart, Stephanie Keisman, and Robert and Donna Edwards. Woohoo! I know you guys are just getting your feet back under you. Welcome home, and I can't wait to hear about all that. Rita, we love you. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great week.
Thank you, Rita.
And
You bet. Thank y'all.
bye for now.